You've probably spent a few nights scrolling through endless specs sheets, wondering if you should splurge on a pre-built monster or roll your own rig. The goal isn't just a flashy list of numbers. You want something that runs smoothly day after day, stays quiet enough to hear your teammates, and actually feels worth the cash you're putting down. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you buy a gaming PC off the shelf, the biggest hesitation is the fear of paying for hype that never translates to real-world performance. You might end up with a system that looks impressive in the showroom but chokes on long gaming sessions, or one that's so loud you have to keep the volume turned down and the windows open. The risk of a wrong purchase is real, especially when you're juggling a budget, space constraints, and the desire for future-proofing. That's why I spent a good chunk of time actually setting up a CyberPowerPC Gamer Supreme, the SLC 9080A, in my own desk, running a mix of modern titles, and testing how it behaved in a typical home office gaming hybrid environment. I wasn't looking for a benchmark sheet. I wanted to see if the machine could handle a 1440p high settings marathon without breaking a sweat, how noisy it got, and whether the included software and support felt like a genuine safety net. First off, the unboxing experience is surprisingly organized. The tower sits on a sturdy base, and everything from the power cable to the Wi-Fi antenna is neatly tucked inside. The case itself has a tempered glass side panel that lets you admire the custom RGB lighting. If you're into aesthetics, that glow does add a bit of personality, but you can also switch it off from the software without hunting for a physical switch. The size is a standard mid-tower, which means it fits under most desks but isn't something you'll want to lug around to a friend's house. Plugging it in was straightforward, no extra adapters or BIOS tweaks required. Windows 11 Home boots up, the drivers for the RTX 5080 install automatically, and the system is ready to game within minutes. The 2TB PCIe 4.0 SSD feels instant. Loading a fresh install of Cyberpunk 2077 took barely a minute, and jumping between large open-world maps in Red Dead Redemption 2 felt seamless. That fast storage is a real time saver, especially if you tend to keep multiple games installed at once. Now, let's talk heat and noise. The CyberPowerPC comes with a liquid-cooled CPU, which is a big plus for anyone who plans long sessions or streams while playing. I ran a 3-hour stress test in Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 1440p ultra settings. The CPU temperature hovered around 62°C, and the GPU stayed under 70°C. The fan spun up just enough to keep the system whisper quiet about 30 dB in my room, which is barely audible over a soundtrack. For a machine packing an Intel Core Ultra 7 and an RTX 5080, that's a solid balance between cooling efficiency and acoustic comfort. Performance-wise, the RTX 5080 delivers the kind of ray-traced visuals that make you wonder if you're looking at a console or a PC. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I was able to push 1440p with ray tracing and DLSS set to quality, hitting a steady 100 frames per second with a few frame drops during intense naval battles. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM also made a noticeable difference when I had Chrome tabs, Discord, and OBS open while gaming. No stutter, no hiccups, just smooth multitasking, which is something a lot of pre-built reviewers gloss over but matters when you're juggling work and play. On the flip side, the price tag for this configuration is definitely on the higher end of the market. You're paying for the convenience of a ready-to-go system, the liquid cooling, and the aesthetic touches. If you're comfortable building, you could probably assemble a comparable setup for a few $100s less. Another thing to keep in mind is upgrade flexibility. The case uses a proprietary layout for the power supply and the liquid cooling loop, meaning swapping out the GPU or adding extra drives isn't as plug-and-play as with a more open-frame design. You can still upgrade, but you